Hello everyone, it's GigaBeef here, and today we're looking at the second set of balancing changes for Escape from Tarkov Arena. Just like last time, most of this is preset adjustments, and I've put what I can in the spreadsheet and updated that there, so if you want to go and see it, then you can, and I've highlighted the differences in the sheet itself. But outside of these, there's been one change already which the community has asked for quite a lot, which is extending the capture time for the objectives in Teamfight, because it is quite short and sometimes it's very difficult to get to the objective before the capture is complete. Previously, this was 7 seconds on all maps, and now it depends on the map. So Equator, being the smallest map, is now 8 seconds, Air Pit, Bay 5 and Bowl, being the mid-sized maps, are now 10 seconds up from 7, and Sawmill, being the largest map, is now 12 seconds to capture the point. So onto the preset changes. Calamari, which is one of the late CQB classes, got an AFAC added to its inventory. Tactical, which is a bit further down the same line, got its magazine of ammunition changed from 9x19 Green Tracer to 9x19 Luger instead. This one's interesting. I talked about this one last time because you're basically playing Star Wars with the Green Tracer ammunition, and now this has gone to Luger. The pen is actually worse, but the damage is higher, so you can leg meta people more effectively with this kit. Over in the Scout presets, Runner, which is one that I struggled through because it's a Glock 18C with 9x19 AP 6.3, which sounds relatively good on paper. The magazine size was pretty small, but they've changed this from 17 round mag up to 21, which is a little bit more usable. On the other side of the tree, Plantain, they said they removed the F1 grenade from this preset, but you do have the VOG 25, and I can't actually remember whether this was there before. So this was either replacing the F1 or it had both and they removed the F1. Either which way, you still get a VOG 25 on this kit, so all hope is not lost. Another one that was changed quite a bit further down this line is Saboteur. People got to this one and really struggled because it didn't have any painkillers at all, and this has had 2 Analgin painkillers added to it, so 2 uses out of 4. This is better. This is certainly not amazing, but it's certainly better than it was. This gives you 160 seconds of painkiller, which should be enough for most games. Another one in the Scout lineup, but one much further down. This one's Reaper, one of the endgame classes. This one got upgraded. This used to have a class 4 armor, but it now has a class 5 with the AACPC, which is kind of interesting given that you have the MP7 and APSX. These magazines were also upgraded to 40 rounders, and you have 5 of them, which is pretty extreme. It had the splint removed from its inventory, but you have the Grizzly, so you can heal fractures anyway. So this kit honestly seems pretty powerful now. All the way down the bottom of the assault line, we have a Razor, which is the AVT class with the Defender 2, and this one had its Golden Star replaced out with an Augmentin, so 150 seconds of painkiller, which should be fine. It's a one-use item, but this is okay. So from here, a couple of interesting ones were changed. On the rating section, not that anybody really is ever going to get to this before probably the game wipes or something, but Borealis, this one had the EOTech HHS sight, which is the one with the holographic and the flip up, which is known for being bugged on recoil, or at least the visual recoil just doesn't look very good in particular. This one was changed to have an LCAN and also an XPS-3-2 in the backpack. So this is actually a significant upgrade. Not that anybody's using this. This is a common theme that we'll find, is that a lot of the kits that used to have that old scope, the HHS, that has been replaced out for something else. The next one that this has happened on is on Pharaoh. So if we go down to the assault class and look here, we now have just a regular holographic. This is another EOTech. This is the one in tan that's in the base game. So this one no longer has the 1 and 3 times. Even further down this tree, we have Mouse, which is this one, and this one actually still has the HHS, but interestingly, there is now a Vortex Razor AMG UH1 in the backpack. So if you don't want to use this and you don't want the extra zoom, despite the weird recoil, you can now swap over to the UH1 instead, so it's up to you. Switching back lines again to Scout, we're going to have to go and find Flanker, which is down here, and this one still has the HHS, this time in black, but this one had the 553 added into the pockets. So yes, you can swap this out for the 553 instead if you don't want the range, if you want to use a more normal red dot that doesn't have these sort of weird bugged recoil. And the final one is the one across in Marksman, which is probably a lot of people's least favorite one, Cowboy, because you have to go through this to get to some of the other decent kits. This one used to have exactly the same scope as well, the HHS on this relatively bog standard M1A, and now this has been swapped out for an ACOG with an RMR on top. So this makes this a little bit more usable. So other than this, it looks like about 50% of the player population has been let in. You can tell this by going into rating, and some of the players who are the lowest ranks, it shows up here as to where they are in the world. And so say you lose like 5 games in a row or something and you end up going down below 1,400 ARP, This allows you to determine how many people are above you, and this number is now somewhere close to about 200,000. I know that Airwing Marine is collecting some of these statistics on his Twitter page, so if you're interested in those updates, then go and see what his stats have to say. Otherwise, if you haven't got in yet, I really do hope that you get in soon and the BSG pushes the rest of the players through, because it's very unfortunate that so many EOD players are not able to get into the closed testing. I know that they may have server issues, but they really just need to get everybody in as soon as possible. As for me and the channel, I'm probably going to be taking a mini break until the wipe, which I presume is going to be somewhere between the 26th and the 30th. That's probably going to be my next video, is whenever the wipe hits, with any changes and other stuff like I usually do. But until then, I'm probably going to take a little break over Christmas. So I wish you all a happy holidays. As usual, a big shout out to all my patrons, and as always, have fun in your raids.